stream. There we go. I started stream. Let's see if it works. No, I started seeing
Such an enthusiastic opening we have here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The exciting opening of this session.
I guess I'll start the stream.
I started it. I'm trying to beat up a something. I don't know what this is. Oh, never mind.
What Pokemon game are you playing?
Eevee.
Eevee.
It's the like the Gover type thing. Got it a while ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, is that like on the Switch or something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's why.
Yeah, I can connect.
I don't have a Switch.
Yeah, here, I'll send you this
the
one.
only ones I've seen are like their base games, Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet.
Really? That's all you do to me? Okay. Can I just attack the human instead?
No, that's Pal World. That's an entirely different game.
Oh, you should hear what happens when things are just going weird. I'm like, well, that's what the taser's for, or that's what the shotgun's for. You know, I could just maim them a little. That would get them into the ball fast, wouldn't it?
I mean, you are supposed to technically damage them, so they're at least at half
they'll
health
be
when you try to
healed
catch
up.
them.
Hey, I can heal them after they're in there.
I mean, that's just a basic rule of thumb when catching Pokemon. Is yeah, you do need to kind of damage them.
Damage. Oh,
they don't go quietly into the ball. You gotta smack them around a little bit, and then you put them in the ball. Don't make it weird.
Too late. I'm in the deep end. Wee. I'll switch to him. All right, so
room. It's fine. We don't need to worry about nothing.
I don't want padding. I want the hard walls so I can really feel it. And then I can draw on them.
Too bad you're in the triple padded room now.
Go to the other screen, you stupid thing. Thank you. I don't know why I did that. Now I'm gonna reopen.
What happened to Visor?
Not sure. He didn't.
It's reconnecting. See?
Yeah, Discord fucking broke for me. So I actually have a funny story for when I was coming back from Seattle area.
Is
so
it okay to say on stream?
Yes, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly stream safe.
Just double checking.
Yeah. So I'm in first class, and I'm in the very back set of first class seats and everything. And at one point, in my tired brain, I pull out my Steam Deck and start playing fucking Buckshot Roulette on the fucking plane. And I can see,
the people looking at you weird.
No, the people behind me were watching me play it.
Hey, you need to have a projector and project it up onto the side somehow.
Well, like, they were in the regular seats right behind me, so there were 3 people. 2 of the 3 were watching me play fucking Buckshot Roulette in the middle of the flight.
I believe it. I've looked over and watched like other people's movies that they're watching on their laptops or whatever. I can't hear it, but I'll look over and just watch it for a little bit.
And I mean, with Buckshot Roulette, you don't have to hear it to understand. All you have to do is see it.
Yeah.
Knowing that people are watching me, I probably turn on subtitles discreetly and go, "You're welcome." Just see what they do.
But no, the other funny thing is that the person that they had sitting next to me, my tall ass in tiny seat.
Which I'm surprised by. You're in first class. They usually give you a lot more leg room.
There was a lot of leg room, but I'm talking about width. I'm also built a little bit wider.
Yeah.
So, the person that picked their seat next to me was like a 4'9" college student that I swear to God, if you fucking dunked her into the water, she wouldn't weigh more than 130 or less. Like, absolutely tiny. She curled up into her seat and fell asleep.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she is tiny to fit in those seats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
still not feeling too hot, so it's like my voice is shot. Try and do Stitch voice, and I sound like I'm
you're
breaking voice.
fine.
So what you're saying is you want to go last in the turn order. Gotcha.
I don't care.
Nah, he wants to go first every time and have double turns.
Yes, please.
Oh no, I'm not saying for combat because most of this, because like the group is kind of split up here, we're gonna have a lot of individual sections today. So.
Oh yeah, we're all gonna be talking about different such things and all that. By the way, who's still at the bar with me?
Not me.
Good question. I think it's really just you, because everyone else is moving off to go do different stuff.
Ash went off to God knows.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I thought Diablo was still at the bar because she was.
No, you were going.
Well, no,
you were
you
last with the Cryptarchy.
You went off to go do research on the Ahamkara.
And you were making a call to me, Euros.
No, I already did the research on the Ahamkara. Then I came to the bar, and then I am gonna make. Then I made a call to Euros about
tagging
more.
along.
If I remember correctly, it was more research on the Ahamkara.
Yeah. Well, because you were at the Cryptarchy, and then you're gonna relay a message to Euros because you wanted to get some access to the reef to do more research into the Ahamkara.
He wanted access to the reef.
The leaf. Leaf.
So I guess it's just me, Bork, and Kitsune at the bar then. Unless Kitsune's wandered off somewhere.
Kitsune's because he won't be here for this one. His character is gonna be off doing something else.
Okay. So then it's just me and Ash.
Where the fuck Ash?
Because Theo went with Eros, if I remember correct, right?
I went to go see Amelia.
Yeah.
And,
oh, never mind. It was what's her name that went with Eros?
Remy went with Eros.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm also sleep deprived, so forgive me if I forget names.
Oh, don't worry, you're not the only one.
Welcome to this session of sleep deprived players, and we hope you enjoy this snooze. Oh, what? I'm sorry, what? I'm back.
Yeah, the session of sleep deprived jackasses.
Yeah, we're all sleep deprived because
sleep deprived and caffeine fueled, baby.
If you would like to grab a small blankie and a pillow, snuggle up with your headset on and just listen to us while we tell you a story.
While we all fall asleep one by one, eventually it's just snoring.
Yep.
Imagine just joining a stream and you just hear fucking 6 people snoring their heads off.
Is this VR?
The best ASMR ever.
The face cam of just everyone face down on their desks.
Are we back in VR again?
The camera with everyone.
No. I wouldn't be face down. I'd be leaning back, looking like I got shot.
Yeah, I know. That's what I did in high school too. I laid back and I fell asleep in English class. Teacher's like, "Oh, glad you got some sleep." I'm like, just looked around. Everybody's laughing because I was snoring. I was like, I don't know. I was tired. I was comfy. I had a book right perfectly under the back of my head, and I was just sitting back. And I'm good. And yes, I looked like I was shot. I guess we can start this. The excitement. Yeah, it's because
let me actually switch over to Discord on PC.
You do that while I am doing this. So, if anybody is watching this and catches our not snooze fest, You can find all past episodes here. There's a link in the Twitch to go here, as well as to the wonderful people I do stream with on this. You can find all their links there, like here. Plus, I've added somebody new to that list, and she's down here who just started streaming too. So you can go.
Oh, who is it?
It's Galaxy Star. I didn't see her first stream because I didn't have her listed, and I was upset a little bit. And I was like, okay, fine.
Rude. You did. What a friend.
Yeah, I feel. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Yeah, but you can find all the links to all the fun stuff. Except for Visor, we leave that off. You can find him under the complaint button. If you want to make a complaint, go right there. I
promise not to get back to you in 7 to 8 business weeks.
Yep. See? So that solves that answer. Dave, do you want to do the Velvet Fang thing? Or I don't
care. Sure, because I've actually been perusing their Discord recently, and because of the recent crossover that was announced literally today by Bungie. They're doing a Dungeons and Dragons crossover with Destiny 2. So what they're doing is they are trying to do a campaign to push for the books to be made into hardcover. So right now on their Twitter, they're trying to do a bit of a push campaign for Dungeons and Destiny. To be more supported by Bungie and potentially be printed in a hardcover format. So check them out on Discord. They're working to get the official Dungeons and Destiny to be not only just recognized by Bungie, but even supported.
Official.
So check them out. They're doing their thing to try and make this a bigger thing.
Man.
I guess I need to flip screens.
I know we support the creator.
Oh.
Yep. We if you've been watching us here for a fair amount of time, we always support the creators of the books. We're not recognized by them or supported by them or anything, but we just support them because without them, we don't get to play this.
Yes. So yeah, there. See, that's why I put this up every time so Dave can tell everybody about it.
You're still on this stream soon button, or on the screen on
the. Starting soon.
Oh, there it is.
It's might be delayed.
Oh, he's already started streaming.
Yeah, I've been streaming for a while.
Yeah. No, it's just I don't know. I think
it's connection. Yeah. It'll do that. It drives me up a wall. It's not my fault. No, it might be. Send your complaints to Visor.
It wouldn't be.
I am actually going to make
complain to Twitch. It's their fault.
No, I'm going to send it to Visor, except for it's going to go into this pseudo email that never will get answered.
Oh, if I respond to something, something's gone wrong.
Oh, God, no. A complaint about the complaint. That would be great. Oh, great.
If somebody complains about the complaints, I'm just going to respond with a complaint about the complaints, about complaining about the complaints.
Then it has to go higher, and it's escalated.
Yeah, that's Visor.
I'm going to fucking Russian nesting doll that complaint.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's your complaint. There.
I just stabbed myself.
Stop that.
Did you? What?
Okay, let's not get into the realism of the thing, okay?
It was a toothpick. I was fucking moving my hand and accidentally set my hand down on it. Didn't feel good.
All right. Well, we shall go ahead and jump back in. So as we were kind of already alluding in our previous discussion, the team is pretty much split up. They're doing their various quests. So we're going to try and give everyone their due time, but we'll see how things kind of pan out here. So I guess my question to you guys is, who wants to go first?
I mean, I can if you want. I mean,
it's gonna have to be somebody else because I'm about to step away for a minute or two.
That's fine.
I was gonna say, because I'm with Remy. Are we still prepping the ships, or are we in our ships?
No, you guys are going to be pretty much en route at this point.
Okay.
Because we're doing a little bit of a time skip, as we're going to be skipping the travel.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because putting on Visor's playlist, or at least Elias's playlist from his stuff, is entertaining. So I copied.
Yeah, it doesn't take you very long to get out to the reef, so we will start with Uros then.
So, are we getting to the reef then at this point, or is it?
Yeah. So at this point, for brevity's sake, you'd have already traveled from the last city to the reef, and you're pretty much at their docking bays. You already gained access and permission, because, and I don't know if I did mention this before. At this point in time, Guardians already have access out to the reef because of the
House of Wolves incident.
Yep, the Reef Wars. That happened in Destiny 1. So Guardians at this point in time already have somewhat free access to come in and out of the reef.
Excellent.
So your travel going out there is met with pretty much no issues.
Extreme hostility.
Yeah, I believe that. Just that moment. I'm down. So we're out of our ships at this point, I'm assuming, and anybody there to greet us, or is it?
So there is someone waiting there to greet you. She is at the far end of the spaceport.
Okay.
So Remy hops off of her ship and walks over to you. She's kind of just like walking around, just kind of looking around at the place. She's a bit in awe. She's never been out here before. So as she's kind of walking up to you, she goes, "This place is incredible."
Yes, I've only been here maybe a couple times, more like once.
Well, you're one of them, right? So you should be pretty cool with them, right?
Kind of just look at her for a moment. Well, I am, but just watch what you're doing.
I'm, not gonna disturb much, but again, I'm not exactly sure why I'm here. I just know the Queen has answers for me. That's all I know.
Well, we'll find out something maybe, and we'll go from there. Why don't we kind of check in here and see if we can find some answers. And since
POV, Remy runs off like a small child.
No, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Sorry. It's the first thing that popped up in my head, and I was like, yeah, I don't know why that fits.
Stop initiating chaos.
That's honestly, that's what I was kind of thinking for a moment. I was like, oh no. So, guess we're going to be, you said the person was standing down there, or is...
Yep, she's standing at the entryway to the spaceport.
All right.
She's standing there with kind of a tablet in her hand.
Approach her. Привет. That's all.
So as you start getting closer, you start to see more of her features. You see that her hair is red and tied back into a bit of a bun. She's got some rather formal-looking armor. It's very decked out and decadent, but still looks very combat ready.
Oh no, Danger Woman.
Now, I have to ask you, are you approaching with your helmet on or off?
I figured I would take it off. Oh god, I'm keeping the accent for a moment. Ooh. I figured I would take
it. He's staying in character. I love it.
Yeah, staying in character whole time. Yes. No,
Yes.
I have helmet off. Oh god. Now you got me doing it. Whoops.
All right. So as you're approaching, she sees you and nods to you. Greetings, cousin. You are the one who wished to have an audience with the queen.
Yes, please.
This way. And she turns and starts to walk down the hallway.
I just kind of say.
Remy just kind of looks at you and she's like, "Follow your lead."
Yeah, I'm just like signaling, just follow.
Yep, and she's walking fairly close beside you as you two are walking down the hallway. And as you're kind of walking by, like, there's a fair amount of traffic here, but you're actually seeing a unique mixture of Elixni and Awoken. Like, there's some Elixni guards.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of what I want to ask.
I was gonna say, wait, wouldn't we have seen the Elixni guards a long time ago, by the way? Because that was before the House of Wolves incident.
That was also a long time ago, so I don't remember if I did mention that.
Yeah, I was just asking, like, from a storytelling point of view, like, would we have seen them back then?
I'd have to look into it because I believe they were, or at least part of them were conscripted by the Awoken before then. I just don't remember the timeline exactly. I'd have to look into that further.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask because, yeah.
But that's not an important detail, so.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything? They're just. Are they doing anything particular other than just standing guard? Probably.
That's just what they're doing. They're just standing at their posts, just holding their staves and just kind of looking around as they're watching some of the people walk by. And you start to hear the woman up ahead kind of turn back and say to you, "So what exactly brings you to have a need to speak with the queen?"
Well, we have some questions about a particular. Well, it has to do with I cannot speak now. Ahamkara. There we go.
Or just gets nervous because he's talking to a pretty lady.
Hi.
Oh.
Oh god. And then my friend here, and I gestured to Remy, she needs some answers to some things that's going on with her. If possible.
Seems rather odd, but considering our relationship with you Guardians as of late, the Queen is more than willing to entertain your request. However, I do ask you to be brief. She is also dealing with many other matters.
Of course. I will try not to take up her time. I do understand she will be very busy.
So, you guys are walking and talking during this time, and at this point, you're approaching two large double doors. And she stops and turns and gestures to the door. She's waiting for you through there.
Thank you. Do I know her name? Have I even asked her?
You have not asked her name. You haven't met her specifically. You've met other Awoken in your time here, but this one you've not met before.
My name is Euros, by the way. You are...
Petrovenge. And she extends a hand out to you.
Nice to meet you, Petrovenge.
Likewise, cousin.
Thank you for your assistance. We'll see ourselves in, I guess.
She nods and the doors open up for you. On you go then.
Thank you. And gesture to Remy. Come on. Like, come on, let's go.
Come on, small child.
She's not very far behind you at all. She's trying to stay close because she feels a little bit nervous where she's at.
Whew. Okay, go through the doors. What do I see? Do I knock first? Should I knock first?
So you're walking through a fairly long hallway. As you approach into a fairly large throne room, where you see a fairly, well, I guess a quick question for you, Matrix. In Destiny 2, did you ever do the missions where you would go to her astral throne? Like way back in the day? Like the Ascendant challenges were...
I'm trying to remember. It's been...
So, like, she has, like, a fairly large, like, this... It's like a crystal, like, stone throne. It's fairly large in its stature. It's got a large, rounded top to it.
Yeah, I've been there then. Once you hit that, I was like, oh, yeah.
So you're seeing a fairly similar throne, and she's sitting there quite comfortably on it, one leg crossed over the other, and immediately you feel her gaze upon you.
Nervous.
This is that awoken connection that you feel, is that you feel that pull to the queen, and now that you're standing in her presence, it's been a fairly long time, but that connection that you felt quite some time ago is just as radiant as it ever was now that you're in her presence.
Oh boy. Okay. Whew.
Remy is just kind of like looking at you. Rose, are you okay? You look a little flush. Just kind of odd because you have blue skin and you're like...
Turning purple? Little blue? Okay. I had words for a moment, and then I'm like, wait, they're switching up with other ones that I'm thinking of. It has been a while, my queen. And I kind of bow lightly. Nothing big, just a light bow.
Uros Shale. It really has been a very long time.
Duh.
I sense there's a fairly dark reason that brings you to my doorstep.
Yes. We have encountered we've been encountering an Ahamkara. And the Vanguard as well as the team I'm a part of, we are trying to find ways to maybe stop it. If there's any insight that you might have.
There's much I can tell you about the Ahamkara, but perhaps you should give me more details as to what exactly is troubling you with them.
Well, this one in particular has used, well, time against us, as well as speed and friends, as well as ourselves, and I'm trying to keep it somewhat vague on that part because Remy's right there. Is it your episode?
The queen kind of shifts a little bit in her seat. Yes.
Sorry.
I seem to recall quite a long time ago, you had a similar problem.
Yes, we've been thrust forward through time in a sense, I guess, to more now, and there's a lot of things that have gone on.
Her eyes shift to Remy.
Oh, my apologies, Queen. This is Remy. She needed some questions, or at least has some questions, for some things she's been dreaming, seeing.
You see her subtly stand up and begin to walk closer towards you two. Your Ahamkara problem is interlinked with various other problems, it would seem. And her eyes have not left Remy at this point. And you can sense that Remy is feeling a little bit more nervous, but the queen is just subtly approaching, and she stands pretty much a few feet away from Remy, and you're not at all from this world. Remy is just kind of a bit confused, and she's just standing there like, to be more specific, you're from a much different time. In fact, I would almost wager a different universe. Remy just looks to you, Eros, and looks back to her. How do you... The queen kind of raises her hand to kind of stop her. The energy you radiate is not of this world, and is not of any magic conceived by the traveler. You radiate an old magic, an ancient magic.
Meiji.
You come from somewhere else. I do. I don't know much about it. I just have had these dreams, and then I have this marking on my back that I just found out I've had, and it apparently does something. It causes me to I guess, just lose control, and I turn into something else. I don't really know how to describe it. The queen's face is unchanged. She's like a porcelain mask. You can't read her emotions, but you know she's listening very intently to what Remy's telling her. So, what is it you wish to learn then? I've had this dream recently. I'm flying across a lake. I can see my reflection in the water, and as I glide across it, I start to see these other shapes and something in the water. Something reflecting above me. I turn to look up and I see the reef. I see you. I can't quite explain it, but I just feel it in every fiber of my being that you can tell me at least something about what this is. And and she gestures to her back. The queen just kind of looks down a little bit and back to Remy. This mark that you have, show it to me. And you see her ghost instantly pop out, and he displays just a graph image of the symbol that's on her back. So, and her ghost just takes over. So it looks like this. The symbols are all aligned in this specific order, and they all point in this specific direction. I've tried to research these symbols myself, and there's nothing really left in the cryptarchy about. And the queen instantly stops and just raises her hand to the ghost. You don't have to say any more. These symbols, again, only confirms what I already knew. This is an ancient magic that has been lost to time. As far as to what it does, I'm afraid there's little I can tell you about this. You would need a specific practitioner of this type of magic to be able to tell you what this is, and unfortunately we do not have the time or the resources to tell you more about it. Remy starts to look a little bit more concerned. So, I guess I'm not even sure what I'm trying to ask here. Why do I have this? The only way that would have been given to you is something in your prior life. However, in order for you to gain that, and for it to be effective in the way that you describe, perhaps there is something more to it.
Oh, you really want me to say something right now, don't you?
I've been leaving many openings for you.
It's like want to be a little 2-year-old stomp on my feet. I kind of hold up a finger. I might know where it came from. I actually do know where it came from. I just have been trying to find the time to tell you. And this hasn't... I've waited too long.
What do you mean? What do you mean you knew?
Well, for a while I have known, and I've been trying to figure out why when we were in our past, we came across fighting ourselves. And I fought myself, and myself, my future alternate self, told me that he or I at some point put this on you to have a chance. And I don't know what that even means, really, other than I don't know why I would do something like this unless it is absolute desperation, but I still don't know why I would do it. And I haven't done anything to anybody. I haven't put any symbols on anybody, but my future self some point has, and it was at least the you that I know of back then. I didn't know you would still have that now. I don't even understand it, and I kind of walk away getting upset about it because I don't know how Euros is trying to handle this, and I am so confused with it all, and I have tried and wanted to find out why I did this to you, or at least my future self. And Eurus is getting visibly frustrated with it a little bit because he's trying to decide it wasn't him, but it is him, and he's conflicted inside, trying to figure out how to phrase this that makes sense.
The queen is is just subtly walking towards you as you walked away. Let me understand this right. You, rather a future version of yourself, came back through time and revealed to you that it created her?
Yes. And I don't know why. Other than a chance. And I still don't understand that chance. I mean, I've seen her do remarkable things, but at what cost to her?
Very curious thing. There is a way that you might be able to see what happened, to gain clarity over this particular moment. I won't lie to you, though. From the sounds of this, the truth may be, and she kind of looks to Remy, somewhat difficult to bear. But if you wish to pursue this, I can have the Techians help you. The few that we have available to us, I can give them at least a small amount of time to help you perceive this.
Yes. please.
Remy kind of just... She starts kind of rubbing her hands together a little bit, just like nervously, just... I do need to know. So...
I just look at Remy. I'm sorry, Remy. I should have told you sooner, but I didn't even tell anyone else because I didn't know what to say or even do. And then we came here and if you could
She kind of clutches her arm a little bit. I've had these other dreams as well. I'm fighting in the city. And I'm fighting some armored figure. The city is getting crushed all around me. But I don't care. I just want him dead. She kind of turns her head away a little bit. I feel like it's not a dream. Like it's a memory.
It could very well be, Remy.
Side note, I'll be right back. I gotta go grab food.
I'm sorry.
And above game, what she's describing is that last major fight with God Hand.
Yeah. I just stand there for a moment and then kind of look at her. Remy, will find out what we can do. If you'll still have me to help you, I would still like to help. But I don't want to place any symbol on anybody to make them do anything they don't want to. And if we can find out more about some of your dreams, we, as I should say, the team, Elias, Theo, and myself, and a few others, might be able to fill in some of those what you think are dreams might actually be somewhat of memories is what you see. Because what you describe is a lot what we went through.
But I was just resurrected some years ago. I don't know. The queen just kind of steps a little bit closer to Remy. Well, if you really insisted upon it, the answers can be found for you. But again, you may not like the answers you find. You should at least steel yourself for what's to come. Remy turns back, or not Remy, but the queen turns back to you, Eros. I'll have my Techians prepare a ritual for you. It may take about a half a day to prepare, so feel free to walk about the reef if you would like to.
I would, maybe to reconnect a little, since really I've only been here maybe once, so...
Side note, I'm back.
Well,
Welcome back.
take your time, and you'll be alerted once they're ready for you.
Thank you. my queen.
And she starts to turn and walk back up to her throne. And she sits down and assumes that same comfortable position that you saw her once you walked in.
I kind of turn and start walking toward the door, but turn back around me. We can look around some more, and if you want to ask me questions, I will answer them as truthfully if I have the answer. And just turn back and slowly walk away and head out the door.
She kind of follows behind you, but noticeably further back than she did before. And on that note, we are going to switch. So of who is here, who would like to go next?
I mean, I can. It would just mean me and Bork.
I was just about to say, if you don't want to go next, I can go next.
If you want to, because I'm kind of chowing down.
I'll go next because you're chowing down on food.
Okay. So Diablo.
Also, don't be surprised if I mute every once in a while because somebody's mowing outside, and I'm pretty sure y'all can hear it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I have to deal with the same thing around my place too. Don't worry about it.
The reason why y'all probably can't hear is because whenever it gets close enough to be heard, I mute. So
Yep.
Just
I was gonna
fair
say,
warning.
we have nerd shit.
Good, because I've been muted.
Okay. So, for brevity, just because we're doing a little bit of a jump, you did receive a message back that did advise that you could certainly reach out to the reef. So if you did want to contact them, there are a few contacts that you would know through connections to the Vanguard. And because of what happened again through the reef wars that I mentioned earlier, the connection with the Vanguard and the reef is fairly known. So if you want to, you could kind of make your way out there on your own and speak with the Corsairs regarding the Ahamkara.
Yeah, I think Diablo will do that because she wants to handle this kind of quietly for now.
Okay.
Because she's still trying to figure out stuff herself.
All right, so then will you be departing then to the reef?
Yes, but I will give Elias a little bit of a pay, even though I'm pretty sure it would be free, but she feels obligated to pay as a thanks. And as she goes up to the counter to drop off a little bit of glimmer, she does say, Elias, just to let you know, I am going to be traveling for a little bit.
I'm more curious what the money's for.
This is a thank you.
For what?
For the food.
I slide it back and I was like, you do realize it's a soup kitchen at the moment, right?
She slides it back to you.
You don't have to pay for the food.
Her helmet is still off, so she just gives Elias a please just take it look.
Fine. And I was also going to be doing some work soon for a private matter anyways, so.
She nods. Well, I will see you soon.
Good luck. Don't die.
Same to you. She slides her helmet back on and leaves to depart for the reef.
If you die, I'm giving Theo all your shit.
She turns to look back at you. Fine. Fair. he'll probably have more use for it anyways. If you do need me, my channel will be open.
Mm-hmm.
And then she departs. And once she's a ways away from the bar to travel, she whispers to Polaris, makes me wonder what I might find with the Corsairs.
She just responds back through the radio in your helmet. Well, I mean, I can tell you a little bit from what we already know from the Vanguard archives when we assisted them in the what was known as the Great Hunt. I have at least some of the notes from that, but they don't necessarily address the more immediate problem.
Well, at least if it becomes important, keep it in your back pocket, metaphorically.
It is common knowledge, so even if I did lose it, it wouldn't be hard to find again.
Fair. Oh. Why do I feel so nervous about this? I shouldn't be.
I think it's because of what we might end up finding. But I guess you need to just make sure you know what questions you want to ask them when we get there.
I just want to know about this fucking Gara shit. See if I made a mistake.
You mean in accepting its bargain?
Declining its bargain.
I still hold to it that I think that would have been a bad idea if you did. But
damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Well, either way, we can get more information from the Corsairs about the Ahamkara. So at this point, you'll be getting on board your ship, and then again, we're just going to jump ahead straight to you're arriving at the reef. And you arrive at a different spaceport than what Uros did. You're basically in a different section of the reef. Here you see a fair bit of some other Guardian ships that are kind of floating in and out of this section of the dock. And you do see that there are a couple of Corsairs that are handing out assignments to some Guardians and some other Awoken that are preparing for missions. Polaris just says into your radio again, well, this is it.
Well, I guess there's no better thing than just go up and ask them about where I would find information. If that'll lead anywhere. So, Diabla, she tries not to look intimidating, but considering how nervous she is, she's a little hunched and bristled looking. She walks up to a Corsair and asks, where can I find an archive? Specifically about Ahamkara. I really don't have any other way to ask this, honestly.
The Corsair just kind of folds her hands over her tablet. An archive... Well, there really isn't one here in the reef, but we do have an abundance of information available. What exactly are you looking into the Ahamkara for?
Let's just say I have heard of an encounter with one, that I know that person who has encountered it, and I am looking into more information about them, the Ahamkara, just to become more educated about them.
Well, you are familiar with the Great Hunt, are you not?
I've only heard stories.
Well, to summarize, a fairly long time ago, the Ahamkara were more abundant and much more around in the system. Our queen, however, did discover some things about them and did deem them to be a problem. And thus she reached out and enlisted the help of the Guardians in what was known as the Great Hunt. The Ahamkara were hunted to pretty much extinction. We only know of one living Ahamkara left, and she is safely in the Queen's guard.
Huh. Then what about the influence of Ahamkara bones?
Well, to begin, when an Ahamkara dies, even in death, their influence can still be felt through their bones. Some even say that you can still wish upon Ahamkara bones, and if the wish is enticing enough, the bones may actually grant it. However, for the longest time now, you Guardians have adorned these bones in your armor pieces. Some have mentioned whispers, but they're nothing more than subtle whispers that either they just learn to ignore, or they just eventually fade into nothing. This influence that you're talking about, could you be a little bit more specific?
Do you mind if we go into a little bit more of a private area? It's something that I'm personally not comfortable talking about in a public space. If you don't mind, of course.
You see her face change a couple of times and just a little bit of shock, and then quickly turning to concern, and then, all right, I have an office a little ways away from here. Let's go talk there.
Diablo nods.
And you go through this small hallway, and you pass by a couple of doors, and then you approach this other smaller set of double doors. They open up and they just reveal a small desk with 2 chairs, just a very, very basic plain office. And she sits down behind the desk and gestures for you to sit down on the chair in front of her.
Diablo bows her head slightly in thanks and takes the chair. Diablo is leaning forward with her elbows on her knees, her hands nervously. Well, there's a little bit of a nervous tick with her where she's trying not to play with her armor plating, but it's a little hard not to. To get to the point, I'm the one who encountered an Ahamkara, and it made an offer with me. And Above table, real quick. Polaris was the one last session that pointed out that there may be a curse with the fire team.
Yep.
Okay. Back in character.
Mm-hmm.
And it was recently pointed out to me by my ghost that my fire team may be cursed. And I would like to know more information about this Ahamkara, and if by me declining its offer, I either A, have cursed the fire team, or if the fire team has already been cursed by this Ahamkara.
She's kind of pursed her lips a little bit, and she's thinking on it. The idea of a curse is a bit of a new one. When it comes to the Ahamkara, they feed upon the wishes of other beings. They feed on your desires. If they cannot feed upon you, there's little more they can do to you.
So then me declining the offer of a wish from the Ahamkara, there was really no repercussions of that.
I have to ask, however, again, as I mentioned, the Ahamkara are all but extinct. So this one that you encountered, where and how did you encounter it?
And so Diablo then tells about the fight with Gaul, even though I'm pretty sure Diablo doesn't know his name, but she tells the Corsair about the fight with him and the Ahamkara bone that he was struck with and then got possessed by said Ahamkara. And this Ahamkara bone, they've been carrying it around and stuff like that. And apparently one of the fire team members has been studying it extensively. And there may be other details I'm missing, but yeah.
So, as you're describing this scenario that played out, you see the Corsairs just studying your face, and you have her complete attention as you're going through the story. But as you come closer to the end of the story, her face just turns to a little bit more perplexed. That's not how the Ahamkara normally work.
What do you mean?
Well, if you're wishing upon an Ahamkara, usually the Ahamkara is present. This Ahamkara, you said your team has encountered. May I ask who this team is?
It is Elias Norwood, Ash, Theo, and Uros, and Singe. Well, I really should say.
Name, so.
What?
You know Uros' last name, so.
I'll just say Diablo rattles off the names of the fire team because I apparently can't remember.
It's okay. So when you actually say Uros, her eyes do change a little bit, just slightly perk up a bit.
Diablo notices. Go ahead.
You're on a. I'm vaguely remembering a story about an awoken who, I guess, jumped through time.
Real quick above table, does Diablo know of any of the fucking time travel shenanigans?
Yeah.
Yeah. They,
Okay.
if I recall correctly, they did at one point just kind of dump the story, but we didn't have time to tell it all in game.
I vaguely remember that as well. Yes. Okay. Continue.
So, this Ahamkara, it's the one that called itself God Hand. Am I correct?
Yes. I do remember being told that.
She kind of studies you a little bit curiously. I don't ever recall hearing about a Titan on their team, however.
I am a really new addition. I only just recently joined.
So how much have they told you?
Well, how much they've told me, I've already told you. Unless there's more stuff that I'm missing.
You're missing a whole lot.
Yep, there's a lot you're missing.
And I said that last part above table.
Yep, we all did.
It's like we just pop out of portals around here. You're missing like half the fucking story. Tell it right.
I don't think, was Diablo even told the rest of the story? Or just the bare bones of it?
She got told what she needed to know.
Yep, the bare bones.
Okay. Bare bones of the story. Got it.
Yep. So the Corsair kind of folds her arms a little bit and sits back in her chair. So they haven't told you everything about their encounter.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
So the story goes a little over 100 years ago. Uros and his team came upon here a long time ago with a request asking more information about Ahamkara as well. We learned through the grapevine and through our own methods of spying. They were involved with an Ahamkara that seemed to be on a different level than the others. From what we understood is that this Ahamkara was on a revenge path. It somehow acquired a body and used said body to gain revenge upon those who hunted his people to extinction. This, however, did lead it to gaining unnatural powers that, although for a paracausal being is not necessarily unheard of, what it managed to do with it, though, is rather unprecedented. The reason that it seemed to jump through time is that the Ahamkara can do quite literally anything that the wish grants them to do. And with something as simple as granting incredible speed can lead to incredible implications that perhaps even he didn't foresee.
What do you mean? Did one of my fire team wish for something from this Ahamkara?
That I couldn't tell you for certain. But what I can tell you is that whatever event from the future that they had experienced, the implications of it are like a drop in a pond. Subtle at first, but creates a ripple across the entire pond.
Hmm.
There's more to the story than even I could tell you. You would have to ask Uros and his team yourself. But in the end, if an Ahamkara wanted revenge, the only way it could seek out this revenge would be to grant it through this wish.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever wish was cast upon it, it made whatever he is now. It's the consequences of his actions. Now, you mentioned a curse. I don't believe it to necessarily be a curse, but again, this could simply be the effect of a wish. Wish dragons in the Ahamkara are unique. They're not exactly what you would think them to be. When you wish upon a wish dragon, if you just carelessly wish for something just subtly and without any real detail, it's a bit like what you would call a monkey's paw. You don't necessarily get what you want, even though it might be in the words that you wished for. And if it was something as subtle as just simply wishing for incredible speed, well, it's not entirely unheard of that in order for that wish to be granted, a piece of the Ahamkara would have to go with it. I'm not sure what else there is I can tell you, though.
Well, what information you did tell me has been very helpful. And I do thank you for that.
I would suggest asking your team for the whole story.
I was just about to say, I'm going to have to ask my fire team about the rest of the story. And also tell them of the quick up table. I don't really remember sharing the wish with the rest of the team. I don't think I did I?
Nope.
Okay.
You've kept that pretty much to yourself.
Okay. Back in character. Well, I guess now is just the time just to get it over with and confront my fire team. Again, thank you for your information and, for lack of better words, for humoring me with it.
Well, Guardians are always welcome out here in the reef, but a word of warning. The Ahamkara, although maybe hunted to extinction, if there is even a remote chance that this one is still alive, that may be the heart of what's causing your problem.
I really, from what I've all been told about Karas, I really don't want to think about that.
Well, good luck to you. And if you request any more information, we are available to you.
Again, I thank you. I shall leave you to return to your duties. Diabla then gets up from the chair and gives the Corsair a small bow of respect. And then turns to return to the bar.
She gives a subtle nod and you depart. So with that, now we are going to move over to the next one. And I guess either Blue or Mercer, or I guess Bork. Which one of you three want to go next?
I mean, I'm just in the bar waiting.
Okay. So we'll go with you then.
Okay.
All right. So, Diablo left a little while ago. You've been kind of sitting at the bar, just kind of cleaning up and just doing your daily duties at this point. And you do receive a video message. It's not a comm call. It's just an actual like video message, and it's from Ross.
I will answer it.
It's just an audio recording, so it's not like a comm call or anything.
Yeah, like, I'm still gonna answer it.
Yep. So you open it up, and it's a video about a minute long, and it's a call from Ross, and he's looking fairly haggard, like his hair's kind of his hair's messy, and he's got a bit of a beard going right now, and so I'm getting distracted by Mercer's TV or whatever he's got going on in the background.
Mercer, we can hear your stuff.
I don't think he's here. Mercer!
What the fuck is he watching?
Hold on.
Mercer!
Yeah.
Quit watching porn.
We can hear we can hear your TV, bro.
I turned it down on this side, so this way it wasn't like.
Yeah, it's coming through. Like it's distracting me. Anyway, so you get the video message. You pull up as you're seeing Ross, and he's kind of looking into the comm, and he says, "Elias, kind of heard you're back in the last city, and things been kind of crazy last 24 hours."
Side note, I was gonna say I had contacted Ross in the past.
Yeah, but he's like I said, this is just he's not calling you. He's just leaving you like a video message.
I was just saying because I think you might have forgotten that conversation that I had.
No. Because this was before that Red War, and now this is post Red War. So he's been crazy because he had lost his light too, and now he's got it back, and things have been kind of crazy for him too. So that's what he's referencing. So, with everyone kind of getting the light back and having it lost for that time, like getting it back when it happened, like is a pretty big deal for everyone involved. So, yeah. So for him, it's big. But anyway, so he goes on to say, it's a lot's been happening last 24 hours, and I don't know how else to show this, so I'm just going to forward this to you and let you hear it for yourself. And you call me back when you're done. And the video message cuts. And there is an audio log, like an audio message that's about 30 seconds long.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming you play it?
Yeah.
So, you begin to it begins to play, and it starts up with some static. It just sounds like some just simple radio static, and then you hear a female voice that you recognize. It's Juno's voice.
Oh.
And it sounds very distant. And it's kind of almost being a little bit garbled by the radio static.
Mm-hmm.
But you hear Juno calling out to Ross for help, asking him, "Where are you?" And it's a garbled mess, but
Mm-hmm.
it's Juno calling out for Ross and asking him, "Where is he? Why can't I find you? I'm lost. Please help me." And it just cuts like it was cut, like not like she cut off the radio message, like the message itself like was subtly cut, like there should be more to the message.
I'm gonna send Ross a message back to meet me at the bar and with the address and all that.
You just receive a text message that just replies on his way.
I also sent him the text, new drinking spot, by the way.
All right, so about 15 minutes go by, and then Ross does kind of knock on the bar door. Like at the moment right now, you're in between those periods where you're helping out with the reconstruction of the city. So right now you've got crews in the back whipping up the next batch of food for the people. So no one's inside the bar right now. So you hear this subtle, well, not really subtle, but like it's a fairly loud, like
somebody knocking
on the door. Yep. Do you go let him in?
Yeah, I was gonna actually say the door should be unlocked.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't know that.
I just call out through the door. Door's unlocked.
All right, so you see Ross in his full armor, helmet up and everything, come walking in. And as he closes the door behind him, he kind of taps the side of his helmet, and the helmet disappears. And you see it in his face that he's distressed. He doesn't necessarily know what to believe, but there's no one else in the bar here aside from you, so he just kind of immediately just beelines over to you behind the bar and just goes, "That cannot be her."
That, I hate to say it, I'm gonna agree with you a little bit. It sounds like when she originally went missing, but we can't also say that it's not her. Yeah, she might have been missing this entire time, but we've heard crazier shit. And plus, I know the hell that you've been through, and Even if she's not around, it's a bit of a closing chapter for you.
His fists are kind of balled up as he kind of leans against the bar. I don't know what's worse, mate. If she's really alive and I left her up there, or she's dead and this is some sort of hive trap.
I'll put it this way. Even if she's dead, we still owe it to her to recover her body and bring it back. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. It's just we might need more than the two of us.
Well, that's why I have an entire team, but they're all scattered at the moment, doing different things. I know one is currently in the reef. One's going to get his head fixed, and I don't know where our resident psychopath went, or insane person.
Who's the insane person?
Ash.
Do you mean the other warlock here?
Huh?
He's asking, like, you mean the other warlock here?
Yeah, kind of. Well, I mean, there's two warlocks, two other warlocks.
Yeah, but he don't know that.
Yeah. But if we get them all together, we can probably solve it, because you saved our ass enough in the past. We kind of owe it to you to help you out in your time of need.
He's just kind of nodding, and he sits down at one of the stools. He just kind of hunches down a little bit. I can't shake the thought that, you know, since we got our light back, and not long after, I get this message that I know it's crazy because it's just sounds impossible, but I want to believe she's alive. But part of me hopes she really isn't.
Well, if she is, you got a lot of time to make up for, and a lot of sorries that you're going to be saying. But it's better to go and confirm it than to not go at all and she actually do be alive. When I first got back to this time, I kind of reached out to you, and I ain't gonna lie, you looked like you went through some hell. And I know you did after learning what had all happened. You need her more than you say. I'm still calling it you two liked each other. But I owe it to the both of you as friends. Even Noble. Y'all had saved my ass more than I can really give most people credit for. Even if you didn't go along to find out, I would go myself. Not because it's a guardian in need, it's because it's a friend. And it's even someone more that you hold near and dear.
Well, thank you. I do get that. I just, a lot happened before you disappeared. And even a lot more happened after. 100 years is a long, long time. Not a lot of things can happen between now and then.
Well, we got a lot of time, and you're standing in my bar. No other place better to do it, because free drinks.
I just have one question.
I didn't set that building on fire, I swear. I do say that in character.
He just kind of just squints his eyes a little bit, just... You probably burned down multiple buildings knowing you.
Let's burn down more exploded.
Yeah, well, I still know about your affinity for explosives.
Mm-hmm. I detonated a Vex Hydra, like squished it like a pancake with 2 explosives.
Leave it to you to find new creative ways to bring down a Hydra.
Mm-hmm. But let's hear it.
Well, my question is, what exactly brought you here?
Do you mean to this time specifically?
Well, skipping 100 years seems a bit unusual, don't you think?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie about that. Long story short, we've been fighting at Ahamkara. Last that you remember seeing me on Venus in my group. We had made an uneasy alliance with the Vex and went to the literal end of time. As in, like, there was no more city. It was just a black tower. I, would you call it like obsidian? I'm asking you.
Yeah, that would be an accurate description.
Like a black, massive castle of obsidian, and fought a literal Ahamkara from a different timeline. We managed to beat it, and I wouldn't say we met God, but that's the only way to put it. We had the option of going back to when we left, or we had the option of going to when we were needed most. And I assume you can connect the dots of when we chose.
So... Oh, wow.
Yeah, if it was from anybody else, you would probably think I'm insane, wouldn't you?
Well, it's not hard to think that of you anyway, considering, again...
Fair.
He just tilts his head, just looking at you, like, knowing, like, you know.
Yeah. By the way, I'm pouring us, like, beers, like, not anything to get drunk off, but to drink.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just at the bar talking and everything. But after that, we tried to remain a little bit more hidden. I want to say I reached out to you about 2 weeks after we got back, somewhere along that time frame. I think we got here like a week before the city got invaded. We bought the bar. and we just basically everything went to shit. The red, is it called the Red War? At the
Red
moment,
Legion.
Yeah.
well, no, I'm calling the conflict the Red War.
Oh.
Is it officially being called the Red War as of this early, or?
Yeah, because I mean, that's the only way that they would know how to describe the conflict.
Okay. There were certain Cabal officers in the Red War that were influenced by this Ahamkara and made it a hell of a fight. We ended up stealing a Cabal cruiser, or Corvette. I don't know how to put it. It's somewhere. Did we destroy it outside?
It's in a place.
Yeah, it's in a place. We have a Cabal cruiser, so a home away from home. We ended up fighting the leader of the Red War Cabal forces, and he got affected by that Ahamkara that really keeps fucking coming back like a roach being smashed. And we ended up winning by miracle. I can't give you all the details because it has to protect someone, but that pretty much sums it up. If we didn't come here, I hate to say it, y'all might have lost because we were the ones that got y'all's light back.
So, back up a second. You said you went and fought this thing at the end of time. You met, any air quotes, God, and it sent you into the future. And you're fighting the Ahamkara that you killed in the end of time.
Shit confuses me too, brother.
Well, I mean, call me crazy, but it sounds a bit like a time remnant.
Yeah, could be.
Well, I mean, that's the only way that makes sense, right?
Yes, I guess so. Sorry, I'm not one for much of a fan of time travel.
Well, so he's like, well, I mean, well, here's how, because and he takes a napkin and he just kind of he pulls a pen from behind the bar and he draws a circle in the middle, like, so this, and he points at the middle circle, this is here right now, and he draws a circle to the right. This is the future where this Ahamkara comes from. And then he circled.
No, I take the pen from him. No, the Ahamkara came from a different time, like a different timeline altogether.
But that's what I'm saying. And he's pointing. This is the one in the future. Just he takes the pen back. Just follow me on this. So and then he draws a circle to the left of it. This is the past. This is where you were before. So, and he holds up the pen. Now, the one you fought came from the future. And he draws a line back to the past. But you killed this one, and he draws a circle on the far right, signaling the end of time. So, and he draws one. So, but you fought in this time the one in this timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, if you killed the one in this timeline, you didn't kill the one that was affected in this timeline. Therefore, he came back from the future, but this wasn't the first time he came from the future. Therefore, he is still in the future. He's a time remnant.
I hate everything you just said. I'm saying that in character and out of character.
Well, didn't you study this sort of thing as well?
Mm-mm. Sorry, I'm eating an egg roll out of character.
Well, to be honest, it was really just kind of a theory when it comes to time and quantum mechanics, and really the only people we have who know anything about time travel are really inaccessible.
I wouldn't go that far.
What do you mean?
I just smile.
Well, if you know this person, then would this not be a concept that makes sense?
I mean, yeah, but you gotta remember, when we were recording stuff, did I ever really pay attention?
You know, for a warlock, you're a lousy learner.
I mean, fair, but you didn't have to say the quiet part out loud.
Well, you're lucky no one else is here to hear it.
Also fair. But the fact remains is that we're here now, and we are from the government, and we're here now. Sorry. But no, we are here to help. Because,
well,
so much shit has gone wrong for everyone. All due to a dragon.
Well, the Ahamkara were kind of hunted to extinction for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, this Ahamkara problem you have, you're not entirely rid of it then?
We don't know for certain yet. I can't confirm or deny it. As much as I'd like for it to be over, if I said yes or no, I could end up in the future just lying basically to your face because I don't know. I want it to be over, but it's been a hell of a ride. And it sounds wrong to say that because we have lost a lot of people along the way. And hell, I don't even know where Nikon is. Nikon went missing because we disappeared.
Yeah, that's a good question. He left, some time ago. I'm looking for you, and that's all anyone's ever heard of him.
And that's one of the things that I want to settle. Because I know I wasn't as great a student, but I owe just as much to him as I owe to you.
Well, who knows? Maybe in time we'll finally figure out where he went, and maybe he'll show up one day.
Hopefully. But at the end of the day, well, specifically today, we're hunting down Juno and finding out what had happened. Agreed?
All right.
And I'm not taking no for an answer. You're not allowed to mope.
He just kind of looks down at the beer in front of him. I wish things were under better circumstances.
Yeah, you have to explain to me what happened between you and Juno.
Which part?
All of it. You don't get to leave a stone unturned because I spilled my guts out to you. So it's your time to say everything that you didn't get to.
Well, I guess where to start. About 5 years after you guys disappeared, we ended up getting stranded on a mission. We were out on Venus, stranded there for a few days. Just got to talking a lot, and one thing ended up leading to another. We got out of there, came back home, and we just started to date. Things started to go well, and he shrugs. Just things just felt right.
I knew there was tension back then.
Shut up.
You know I was fucking calling it.
Well, you could have called it all day long. Didn't matter then.
Yeah, fair. But continue.
I mean, there's not much else really left to say. Just, we would still continue doing our Vanguard duties, and until we got a mission to go to the moon.
So
I never would have. If it were me, I wouldn't have taken a job to go down into the Hellmouth. But she insisted, said, we need to deal with this hive threat that was down there. And she was sure that we could handle it. His finger starts kind of going like around the rim of the beer glass. And that's when everything went sideways. We lost comms with the Vanguard when we went down. So we had no contact with the outside world. Noble did the best he could. Plowed through a lot of hive. But they eventually split us up. Tried to take us out one by one. They got the Juno first. His eyes go straight down. They just pulled her out of there. We lost sight of her, and before we knew it, there were hive nights, and they pushed us back. That was the last I saw of her.
So what ended up happening to Noble?
The two of us managed to at least get back to the entrance of the Hellmouth. Noble had to pull me from going back in.
As expected.
I said some pretty terrible things to him. Really wasn't very kind to him after that. We managed to escape. And, well, it took me a long time to apologize to Noble for what happened. We talked. I still insisted on going back. He refused. Said, you saw what we were up against. Even if we had a team of 6, what makes you think that we were going to break through all those hive? He said we were in over our head to begin with, and it was stupid for us to even go down there in the first place. I can't quite disagree with him on that point. Hindsight being 20/20 and all.
Well, yeah, hindsight's a bitch, but when you accepted the mission, you didn't know. With that, you can't beat yourself up over it. As much as it feels right, in a sense, it's not.
I've had over 20 years to feel bad about it. But hearing this message last night just
made it more real.
I've heard what happened to Eris Morn. How she was trapped up there for a very, very long time. And what she had to do to survive. And Traveler, help me. I really hope that's not what happened to Juno.
Yeah. But even if it did happen to her, she still has you. She still has Noble. But most importantly, she still has you. I'm trying to find the right way to put it. In the turmoil that would be the trauma that obviously happened, she would be, or you would be the rock in the storm of what would be happening. If you catch my meaning. Wouldn't you agree?
I suppose so.
I, as your friend, would rather have her back, even if she was different. I'm trying to find the right way to put it, without me having to sound like an asshole. Wouldn't you agree that she is the most important thing to you, no matter what?
Yeah.
So then you, me, and whoever we can get, we go down there and find her or whatever put out that message. and bring what's ever she has become, or what's left of her, back. Even if she's not in the same way that we had last seen her.
All right.
Mainly because you both deserve that closure. Because I know for damn well that if it was you that was taken instead of Juno, this really wouldn't be an argument. It would be more of how much do we need a plan? Wouldn't you agree?
I suppose so. He just picks up the beer and he just chugs it back, slamming the glass on the counter. Not like very hard, but just enough to like.
Just to like
Yeah.
Damn, I finished that drink. Yeah, kind of shit.
Yep.
If you want, there's an underground section to the bar. If you want to stay here and solve it together.
Thanks, but I've got my own place here in the city.
Oh, I mean,
I'll message me when your team is all back together here and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're ready, we'll make our trip down there.
All right.
I am going to warn you now, though. You might have faced off against some pretty powerful things. I will warn you now. What's down in the Hellmouth is on another level entirely.
Oh, we've seen a little bit of it. And we also have our own little expert in hive magic. It sounds weird to say. So we could possibly figure out something to help.
He nods and slowly gets up and starts to walk out of the bar.
Before you go, you're eating. I don't know the last time you ate. Sit down.
Well, anyway, we're gonna
Yeah,
move on.
I know. It's more me taking care of a friend.
Yeah.
Before he can go fucking mope.
Yep. So, anyway, Bork or Mercer?
I can go. Sorry. I was muted. If you want to go, Mercer, you can.
Nah, it's this guy.
Okay.
All right.
So she's up next.
Okay, Ash. So, you were looking into cleansing Thorn.
Yes, I believe the last thing that happened was we located someone who had information, potentially had information, I think.
Yes. So you, in your research of people, sorry, a car driving by here. My window's open.
That's realism.
Yes. Wrong campaign though. So your research into Thorn did bring you into contact with someone who claims to know about the Shadows of Yore.
Lovely.
Now this contact did reach out to you and asked to actually meet you somewhere in the outskirts of the reef.
Of the sorry, what? Of the reef?
In the outskirts of the reef.
Okay.
He has a ship out there.
Ooh. Fancy. Well, I'm not entirely. I don't 100% know this dude, so I'm going to. Obviously, I'll have Thorn with me, but I'll also be ready to like. Call in because there are obviously going to be active guardians in the reef. I'm gonna have like I guess distress signal ready on standby just in case. To just call in any or like request help from any nearby guardians should happen.
Okay. So I'm assuming you're gonna go out and meet this signal, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So again, for brevity, you travel out to this point, and it's just a little ways just before the asteroid belt, and the ship in question, above game, I already know you're gonna know this, but it is the derelict. And it blends in quite nicely with the rest of the asteroid field. So as you're kind of on approach, you don't necessarily see it, but as you get closer to the coordinates, you actually do start to see it.
This is red war derelict, so it doesn't have the pocket dimension hooked up to it yet.
Nope.
All right.
Not yet.
Cool. Just making sure. They have an idea what everything looks like. I want to see if I can maybe. So I'm currently just flying towards it. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to.
It's like subtly like sitting next to an asteroid, like a fairly large asteroid. So it's kind of hiding in somewhat plain sight.
I'm gonna try to open up comms with the ship.
So you just immediately receive docking coordinates to the side of the derelict.
I imagine Dragonfly just like floating over Ash's shoulder while they're flying. She just turns and is like, I don't quite know if I should trust this. But we don't really have any other leads, so be ready with that distress signal just in case.
Yeah, Dragonfly's he's on standby. But he's just kind of floating over your shoulder, just kind of casually just watching, not really saying too terribly much, just more of a passive observer in the moment.
All right. Let's go ahead and head to those coordinates then.
All right, so you get lined up with the derelict, and you're able to transmat over to the airlock.
All right.
All right, so you'll board the derelict, and you'll notice that as you spawn in, there's no one there to greet you. In fact, there's no one around at the moment. You hear like a lot of mechanical noises. The kind of stuff that you would hear from a ship that's kind of being held together, but it's not in the most ship shape. So you hear a lot of like mechanical noises, noise coming through piping. And you do hear kind of off in the distance down the hallway. Down this way, sister.
I'm sorry. That made me fucking laugh.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Above table, I'm so fucking ready for this.
You're welcome.
I know
And
he's
then
coming.
we never get to see the drifter version again.
Considering, just as an aside, Ash is a character who actually exists, and she has quite the complicated relationship with the drifter. So, like,
Oh no.
this is gonna be very funny.
And so the fun begins.
Yeah. Ash is going to. I'm just gonna draw Thorn as I slowly approach the source of the voice, because this is this is where Guardians go to die for fucking certain. I'm not safe here.
You're perfectly fine.
I feel like this is what all those stranger danger PSAs were warning me about.
All right, so
Ash approaches and is just kind of very, very where he's like, "Hello."
So you walk into this kind of a fairly large circular room with a large poker table sitting in the middle, and behind it, with his feet up on the table, wearing kind of a bit of a mixture of fur and metallic armor, you see the Drifter.
Do we know who he is at this point, or does Ash know who he is at this point? Or
Well, do you? That's my question for Ash, is that would you know of the Drifter? Because you and your Hive research would have at least come across at least some details about him, but
I'm trying to remember, like, because he was I can't remember if at this point he was on, if he like, or how long ago he was on that like ice planet.
well, he's gone by many
isolated.
names and lived a long time. So you may or may not have met him in the past.
I think Ash would probably know, like, of the Drifter. Probably more just like a guy.
Well, at this
like,
point,
he gets things for her, but she doesn't really work.
Yeah, well, at this point in time, the Drifter's not really even associated with the Vanguard right now. Like, he's not necessarily dealing with them. He's just kind of a figure out on his own.
I mean, Ash isn't either. That's the thing.
So you might have heard of him, but you may not have encountered him in your past.
You know, at the very least, he was probably someone who, like, when she was trying to get, because whenever she like was getting materials, she would contract it through people she knew, like with Malachi and the Hive corpse that the rest of the crew got for her before she joined up. Like, Drifter may have like taken on one of the jobs that she contracted, but he definitely wasn't the person she went to about it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. So you just see him. He's got this kind of the smirk on his face as he sees you walking around the corner. Just, I've been hearing you've been looking into certain things you might not should be looking into.
You could say that's kind of my whole MO. So maybe you knew that.
Oh, I know quite a bit of things. In fact, I know a little bit more about that hand cannon you carry.
You know how to cleanse it? Your message said you knew someone who did it at the very least.
I might know a thing or two about cleaning that thing. But my question to you is, how'd you come across a genuine article?
I built it myself using the original weapon as a blueprint.
See, that's funny, because a lot of people are pretty scared of that weapon, and the few that aren't tried to replicate it themselves, but never came quite as close as you did.
I suppose
I can
didn't have
feel that
experience.
thing on your hip right now.
I'm quite familiar with Hive magic and ritual. That's where the original weapon came from, was the Hive. It only natural I was able to replicate it so well.
You dabbled into things you might not fully understand. That's why you're hearing them voices in there now. And that's why they might be driving you a little bit stir crazy. Isn't that right?
Say it is. What do you know?
Well, what I know is that thing likes to feed on light. The more you kill with it, the more you feed it. But it's got an insatiable hunger. But if you want to purify it, so to speak, you don't feed it light. You gotta bathe it in light. But to do that, that requires a certain kind of, we'll call it a ritual. You think you're up for it?
I don't have any choice, I don't think. It's either I do this or I succumb to the weapon very soon.
Yeah, well, that might not be the greatest thing for you either. And he kind of lays a cannon down on the table. Because you become the next well, that's a problem for everyone.
Exactly what I'm trying to avoid.
Good. I'm glad we're on the same page then. So, and he pulls out a data pad, he taps it a couple times, then he slides it across the table over to you. What exactly do you know about the Vex?
Not too much. I know someone who's plugged in, I guess you could say. But me personally, I don't know much.
Well, see, the thing with the Vex is they've been trying to simulate the light for a very long time, trying to copy it. But unfortunately for them, the light's just not something you can easily just recreate. But they have actually come close a few times. It's not true light, but it makes for a nice artificial source. So, what you gotta do is you just gotta gather a bunch of them up, make a nice little pool of their radiolaria, infuse it with your light, and you bathe the weapon in that light. Let it soak in. And if you do it correctly, your voices should be gone. I will warn you, though, it will make the weapon less potent. It's not going to be its strong final form, you understand?
Ash kind of holds the just kind of like glances down at the weapon briefly. I don't have a choice. I have to do this.
All right, then. He takes up another little data pad. He's tapping through it. You see him kind of swipe a few times, and then he turns it over and slides it over to you. There's a little spot on Io where you might be able to gather enough Vex in one spot to do what you need to do. You're gonna have to kill a fair bit of them all on your own. It might take some time. But if you're patient, and maybe with a little bit of help, you can probably get the weapon cleansed.
What do you want for this? There's no way that you're just doing this out of the goodness of your heart.
Well, let's just say, you might need to owe me a favor or two. I don't necessarily have anything I need at the moment, but should the need arise, I might come calling.
Fine.
So how
Fine.
about it?
I'll owe you, I guess. Not like I have a choice. It's this or succumb to the weapon.
And we both know you don't want that, sister. You've already seen what the result of that looks like. He just kind of sits back. So, I do also have to ask. You mentioned getting the original frame. How is it you got a hold of yours original thorn?
We fought ages ago. It must have been around the time of the Great Disaster, if I remember correctly. Mara Ibrium. Shortly after that.
Well, you must be an exceptionally rare breed. Not many live after surviving an encounter with your. Only a very few people have been able to say that.
Oh, look where it got me.
Well, making the weapon was your own fault. You chose that path. So, at this point, do you want to make your way to those coordinates, or what would you like to do with that? He's giving you this information.
I feel like contacting the others and at least being like, hey, this is where I'll be if you're free and can potentially help me with this issue, considering it's not exactly a small thing, the whole thorn slowly infecting my mind. So if you're able to, you can come assist.
Okay. So with that, are you just gonna make your way straight there, or are you gonna wait for a response?
I'm just gonna head straight there.
Okay.
If anyone shows up, they will. If they don't, whatever.
Okay, so we'll play a little bit more into this because we still got a little bit more time here for you. So you arrive, and the coordinates do give you kind of into this. It's a bit of a box canyon, like this area where you're seeing where you can gather these Vex in, and you're up at the top of the cliff, able to kind of look down at this location, and this gives you a pretty good idea of what you're looking at here. This is like a bit of a makeshift natural arena, as you can kind of think of it as. There's pockets of Vex that are just kind of sprinkled about the area, and they look like they're doing some scanning or in some patrols. But in the middle is a bit like a big bowl that you can already kind of see what the drifter was talking about. Is that if you were just to kind of gather them all into this point and you were just to kind of just kill a lot of them, you basically start to be pooling this radial area into this kind of a big bowl in the center. So the arena seems like it's a perfect drop for this particular ritual that the drifter is describing. So you'll just kind of sit down, and you're just kind of waiting to hear back The message just recently went out, and it'll take a little bit of time because it's got to reach out to other planets. So, Dragonfly will pop out of your pack and just kind of be floating beside you, kind of looking down at the canyon. So you think this is going to work?
I think this is my only option.
Well, options or not, I mean, can't you just get rid of the hand cannon?
I can't risk this. I can't risk this happening to anyone else. I mean, I found the hand cannon when it was new. It seems to have become a legend since then. Do you really think that if I were to get rid of the hand cannon, even if I did try and destroy it, if someone wouldn't find the pieces and try to create one of their own, and then the problem starts all over again? They may not be able to stop themselves before they get to this point.
Maybe not. It just strikes me a bit odd that after everything and you defeating your, it just didn't really occur to me at the moment that you defeating him might actually turn you into the next version of him. So I really hope this cleansing does the trick. Because if I'm being honest, if it really doesn't, then the only thing I could seriously suggest would be just to throw the damn thing into the sun and let no one ever find it.
That's always plan B, but Guardians have a habit of doing the impossible, so...
Yeah, that you do. You certainly do have a knack for it. But I think for now, I think our team can pull this off. It's just gonna be a matter of if the ritual works or not.
Ash kind of just closes her eyes to prepare herself for this.
Yeah, you kind of like meditate on it a little bit. That way, just kind of get your rest and everything ready for the upcoming battle that's to come. All right, so and now we will wrap up the night with Mercer and Theo. Mercer.
Nah, we gotta end it with Kitsune. It's just 10 minutes of silence.
So, you were traveling out there, correct? Or did you invite Amelia to the last city? I'm kind of forgetting at them right now.
I think I'm going to her because I would think she has all her equipment over there.
Okay. So, you do make your way out to Stonehorn, and you are greeted with a lot of the folks that you recognize from there. And Amelia is actually already out there waiting outside there for you. You kind of see her standing there. She's still wearing a fairly long lab coat. But she's got her hair tied back. And she's standing at the platform waiting on you.
Yeah, I'll get off my sparrow. That's word. I'll get off my sparrow and start heading towards her. Hey, Amelia. Hope I didn't make you wait long. Yeah, hope I didn't make you wait long.
Oh, not long at all. Good to see you again, Theo. It's been too long.
Likewise.
So I understand you had some more questions about that technology in your head.
Yeah, and a bit of a request.
Well, come inside, and she starts leading you back into the laboratories. So,
Has it changed from last time I saw it?
I mean, she's a fair bit older. Because when you met her, she was just a young teenager. Now she looks to be in her mid-30s. So she's grown up into a a good adult, but also remember that because lifespans did increase because of the traveler, like 100 years kind of equates to roughly about what she looks like age-wise. Because yeah, she was maybe 16 back then, and she might be 116 now, but she still looks only about in her mid-30s.
Hmm.
You see a little bit of gray in her hair because she doesn't dye it or anything, but yeah, for the most part, she just looks a good bit older than she was.
I take it
So,
time has been treating you well?
well, it's had its ups and downs as life usually does. It's been interesting. We did hear from you guys and the rest of the group. And then, things kind of went silent there for a while. We didn't really know what was happening, and then just the other day, a big light wave just washed over the whole area.
Yeah, a
And,
lot of crazy's been happening.
well, I mean, it's not related to your part, but something strange sort of happened here when that wave washed over everything.
Really?
Well, do you remember a long time ago how we detected very trace amounts of dark matter in the garden?
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
And you remember how we did manage to find a way to extract some of this dark matter, correct?
Believe I was told so, yeah.
So, when we did this, it removed the dark matter from a fair bit of the trees and some of the plant life. But I ran a scan this morning. That dark matter seems to be regenerating.
So, what, are you able to, like, pick it off and it'll just grow back?
The fruit analogy is not quite far off. It's more like extracting sap from a maple tree.
And do you know if this would continuously produce?
I have no idea. We've only discovered these readings this morning, so a lot of work and research needs to be done. But that I'm willing to put on hold for a brief while here, because I understand you need some help. And at this
Yeah,
point, you've reached into her office at this point, and you've entered into the office, and the door is closed behind you.
yeah, the original purpose I was here. Uh, so from what you saw on the scan, uh, everything more or less is the same, besides from a small broken piece that's inside my head, which is the current root of the problem, since that had some great potential.
Well, let's have a look then. And she kind of instructs you to sit down on a little stool.
I'll go ahead and sit on down.
So as you're sitting down, she does open up a couple of drawers and pulls out what appears to be some scanning tools. And are you wearing your helmet at the moment or no?
I would have taken it off.
Okay, yeah, because she would have asked you to take it off if you didn't. So, she walks over to you and she kind of holds up the scanner tools. I'm just gonna have a quick look here. Okay.
Yep, and if you need any information, then let me know.
All right, so she starts to run the scanner across the be the right side of your head, where the chip would be more localized, and you see her looking at a little tablet as she's looking at the scanner and just observing the data that's coming through it. Her eyes kind of darken a little bit. How did you say the chip was damaged?
My freaking head got caved in.
But doesn't your ghost heal any damage that you receive?
That would be the case, but I would assume it's more like a foreign object, so it's not exactly a part of me. And since it's not originally part of my body, most likely it can't be regenerated.
Well, if it was part of your body and if it did regenerate, that would have been one thing, but this. She puts down the scanner and she kind of looks over to you. Do you want the good news or the bad news first?
Just hit me hard with it.
All right, bad news first. And this might be rather obvious, but its function is completely inoperable. So any functionality that it gave you is gone. And the worser part of that is that because the chip is inoperable, it's unfortunately fused.
Fused?
If I try to remove this from your cybernetic brain, it may cause even more damage. And the part that concerns me the most, because again, you Guardians being able to regenerate your bodies, I don't know if this would even heal. I guess is the correct term, because being an Exo and a Guardian and healing, it seems a foreign word to use, but let me put to you like this. The chip inside your brain won't kill you, but if you were to sustain a high enough voltage shock, it might fry your memory. The only way I could remove it, would require something I don't know if I have access to.
What would that be?
I would need the equipment that was essentially used to make you. Do you know exactly where it is you come from? I mean, not like come from as in like where you were, resurrected. I mean, you as an exo.
And would I know this?
You've been there before.
Okay, so
You visited it once before, but it is the Deep Stone Crypt.
I do, but I also take that we didn't exactly explore it.
Nope.
We only like covered like the surface of it.
Yep.
I do, but it's not exactly great. We would have to go to the Deep Stone Crypt.
That's where all exos come from, right? Am I remembering that right?
It's where we are made, you could say.
You're gonna need the actual equipment that the Deep Stone Crypt would have had in order to properly open up your head and your brain in order to try and remove what it would consider a foreign object.
And also by the sounds of it and what I've gathered so far, it kind of seems like I'm on a time limit then.
Well, I wouldn't say a time limit, but you're more vulnerable. Again, it if left unchecked, this thing would do nothing. But again, if you received a high enough voltage shock by any external source, it could do more damage to your memory than you technically already have.
It would be the equivalent of an exo reset, something that we already have to deal with.
It would be the human equivalent of just memory loss and dementia.
Well, I mean, I'm already getting that as it is. At least it's not severe. Though, I guess that's just adding to it now.
So, I would like to help, but
But it sounds like there's not much you can do without the right equipment.
there is another flip side to this as well.
I take it the good news?
Well, this is sort of related to your earlier questions, I recall, from a long time ago. You wanted to know who you were.
Considering everything that's been going on, I haven't really thought about that much.
Well, removing it would also require it to remove certain inhibitors in the hippocampus region of your cybernetic brain. It could potentially unlock memories. That being said, you have been reset 10 times. These memories that you have may be degraded, may be incomplete, and fragmented. I can't say definitively you're gonna find those answers that you're looking for, but doing this may also give you that piece of information that I remember you were looking for. So I think it's a worthwhile pursuit, but it's also a dangerous one. Because I don't know much about the Deep Stone Crypt outside of just what people have told me. I don't even know where it is, to be quite honest. I'm assuming you know where it is.
Me and my team have been there before, only once, and we didn't exactly explore a lot.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me because, I mean, given even the name of it, it would be buried very deep underground. If you visited there, you probably didn't even explore even a little bit of the surface. You might have only just seen the entrance to this deep stone crypt.
Most definitely, since we weren't exactly there to explore. But by the sounds of it, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. If I don't, I have the potential to just fry my memory again. And if I do, I can get rid of it, but get the drawback of getting some of my past memories.
That is about the sum of it, really. I wish I had better information for you, but
And here I was hoping I could shoot guns from my hands.
well, I mean, you technically already do. They're just not in your hands. They're in your hands? She's got a shit-eating grin as she's looking at you as he says this.
Gotta make light of the situation somehow. And I know at least that with my model, I might have other things a part of me besides from the chip. I just don't know what.
Well, I can't imagine you've got any surprise guns in there, unless they're somehow pure energy based, in which case, still no?
Out pops his finger, a fucking little derringer.
I mean, you have to admit it would be pretty cool.
Oh, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying, from a logistic standpoint, where are you putting the ammunition?
Void ammo.
Up your A.
Well, again, if you have guns, and they have to have ammunition, just like, and she points to the weapon at your hip, just like all of those guns need to be loaded with bullets too.
Mm.
Fun idea as it may be to have like laser eyes or something, it's not the most practical.
Not practical, but I guess I don't really know my design to begin with.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the other thing too, is you're a little bit more unique of a model compared to other exos, huh?
Well, yeah, because to my knowledge, I'm probably the only one in existence.
Well, maybe. Or the Traveler just chose you in particular? Speculation for another time, I suppose.
It'll make one hell of a story, if I can remember it.
Well, I do hope that you are able to, at the very least, get this chip situation solved, but I guess I'm a little more hopeful that if you do recover your memories, that it does give you that little bit of, I guess, clarity that you're looking for.
And hopefully I don't regret my choice of wanting to rediscover myself.
Well, I do hear, guardians are not exactly given, what's the word I'm looking for? Not permission, but would it be
We're advised not
blessing?
to look. Yeah.
It's frowned upon. I understand that much anyway from what I was told.
But... Taboo. You're thinking of the word taboo.
That was in character. She was struggling with the word on purpose. I guess well, reality is that there is something rather unique about your frame. But I remember us having this discussion a long time ago about this very same kind of subject about you wanting to discover who you were. I'm not trying to stop you or dissuade you from going down that path, but I do have to ask, if you do find out who you were and what led you to this circumstance, then what? What do you do with this information?
What do I do forward? Well, I guess depending on how I was back then, and if I can withstand the knowledge of it, then I just push forward and do better than what I did before.
But one could argue that you're doing better now than you did in your previous 10 iterations.
Could. Though there's always that nagging feeling that, what if I wasn't always good? And only thanks to me being reset, I was able to change. Possibly right some wrongs that the past me done.
But what if you turn back into that old you? And what if you have to be reset again?
Well, then at least I won't remember it.
That's not the point.
Let's just hope it doesn't come to that. I'm pretty strong-willed as it is.
Yeah, well, strong-willed or not, we all succumb to our own biology at some point, and well, I don't want to lose a friend. Not over this. So I hope what you're looking for and what you find, I hope it's all worth it.
Me too. Though I do have to correct you on one thing.
Hmm?
Not biological. artificial.
Well, it's a sort of a synonym, I guess, for the difference between humans and exos, where human biology and exobiology.
Just trying to make light of things. Gotta take a chance with whatever I can. Can't always be nitty gritty, you know?
Well, the world of science is rather unforgiving, so forgive me if I seem a bit grim on your circumstances. Just, I'd rather be realistic about the circumstances than optimistic on something that has a slim chance.
In that regard, I'm glad I'm a blacksmith.
Touche. But for now, is there anything else I could help you with?
Want to do a scan to see if I do have guns in my arms? I'm joking.
She's just smiling, like half-ass smiling, and just like, do you really want to do that?
I'm just joking. I don't exactly expect any sort of other fancy things besides probably that chip, if anything.
Besides, you already have guns there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but if I get unarmed or something, I have a backup. Granted, nothing's better than my fist. But...
She just kind of blinks at you and just like, no. She just like, she brings her arms up and flexes. She's like, talking about these guns.
Exactly.
Well, if you ever got disarmed, I would certainly hope your ghost fixes that problem.
Hopefully. I take. Will you have my back, Nova, on that?
Nova pops up like, well, yeah, you kind of need both arms.
At that point, I'll just swap to my legs.
You're gonna use your leg for what?
I mean, if I'm disarmed, I gotta fight somehow, right?
Amelia's just snickering as Novus is looking at you. Just, you can't really read his face because he really doesn't have one, but you can tell from his shell language, like he's perplexed and a little confused. Like, what do you mean you're gonna use your feet? Like, you're gonna use your legs to kick them?
Yeah. You can't expect it to be unheard of, can you?
You'd swear Nova just blinked at you and just like, I'm picturing a no-armed titan running at a hive knight and just kicking him in the, I guess, the shin?
I mean, you at least know my legs are gonna pack a punch now, huh?
You know, I don't doubt that, considering I've seen the feats of strength you've already pulled off in the past, but, I still can't get that image out of my head. And that's, I don't know whether to laugh or find it disturbing. Maybe a little bit of both.
Come on, you've seen me lift black dark matter. Kicking a hive knight wouldn't be too outrageous, now would it?
No, it's the image of you having no arms and running at something to kick it. I don't think I'm ever going to forget that now that I've thought of it.
Well, you want to make it a reality then?
You don't want it to be a reality. Because if you are missing your arms, your chances are losing fluid and you're probably going to die within seconds.
Would be a still fun few minutes.
No, not few minutes, few seconds. if both of your arms are ripped off, you're going to be draining fluids faster than you can retain, and you're immediately going to bleed out.
Well, that's the fun of it, ain't it?
You know, sometimes I wonder how it is you get by so easily with death just not necessarily being a concept anymore. You're handling this a little differently than I think you should.
I guess that's the benefit of constantly having your life at risk. Got to make fun of some stuff, even at death.
Well, I guess that's kind of what we end up doing, right? And just kind of laughing in the face of death.
Exactly. And at least with you by my side, I won't exactly die that easy.
Amelia's just smiling as you two are having this conversation. Well, I don't think there's much more I can provide you two with, but if there's anything else I can do to help you out, please do let me know.
Well, that's more based off any of my friends that might need your assistance. So they seem to be dealing with a lot on their own.
Well, I think everyone is, I guess, kind of looking for their own closure, I guess, right?
Since at least everyone has to settle some form of debt, one way or another.
Well, I do hope that you come back, and I do hope that you are the same person that's here with me today.
I'll make sure not to forget.
It's not the forgetting part I'm worried about. It's what you remember. Anyway, you get going now.
Yep. You take care, and hopefully you get some better results with that plant dark matter thingy.
Well, it's gonna be an interesting time. I'm looking forward to the research.
I mean, who knows? Maybe you'll be able to power stuff up with some plant dark matter.
Who knows? But if there's any interesting finds, I'll be sure to share them with you.
Do so. Because if there's a chance I can make a dark matter weapon, I'll definitely take that.
Out of character, I just want to point out, like, a portal opens up and I just hold fucking Graviton Lance through it. Like, did you forget this exists?
Yeah, but I want to make my own dark matter weapon.
He wants to make the black hole gun from Mass Effect.
Oh,
Damn
God.
straight.
Nah, I'd rather have the fucking black hole SMG from the game Fuse. Ever play that shit?
I actually haven't.
Oh, you basically
might
hit
have.
a fucking enemy with it enough times, turns him into a small black hole, and it chains out into other ones, creating more black holes.
Yeah, because the reason I say it is because like having that as a feat of making a weapon out of dark matter would be fucking legendary. That would be its own exotic weapon in its own right.
It'd be a homebrewed exotic, basically.
Yeah. And if I could get that chance, I'ma fucking take it.
I'ma steal it.
Bitch, if I can make it fucking soulbound, you bet your ass I'm gonna do that.
I don't think you can soulbound weapons other than what
I
Bork's
will
solution is.
lightbound it.
I don't think that's how that works.
I'm gonna make it work.
We can have a discussion about a potential weapon here in the future, but for now, this is where we are going to end tonight's session.
I was gonna say one thing I'd like to do before we move on to another session.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start working on the AT rifle and try and customize it.
Okay. Because yeah, I mean, at the moment, your character is just in downtime, so you can be working on that. That won't be a problem. All right, and then yeah, we'll discuss the results of it on the next session.
Yeah.
And just see where we're at with that, and yeah. Anything else anyone want to do before we wrap up? All right. Then.
Hello, anybody?
Bye.
I'm taking the silence as a no.
Dear Fork.
Yeah.
Star said that they were going to be RB again.
Oh.
Like
Yep,
2 minutes
that's
ago.
fine. I mean, because yeah, unless there's anything else you want to do that we didn't cover in your spot, we can always just pick up onto the next one too. So no biggie.
But Dave, I was gonna say, as soon as you hear what I want to do to the fucking AT rifle, you're gonna immediately go, no, that's terror, no.
You might not be wrong about that. Considering
it...
the many discussions we've already had about this fucking rifle.
Yeah, to the point where I had to discard one.
Well, I'm about to make it even more terrifying.
Make it
I
twin
want to go
barrel.
to Banshee and try and make it semi-automatic.
Okay, with all that, if anybody's interested in this material, Velvet Fang, there you go. Download the content material. Dave filled you in on before, so if you didn't hear it before, go back to the beginning, hear it again. There you go. Rewind, replay. Woo!
We loves the YouTubes.
And again, if you want to catch these past episodes, there's the channel. You can click on the links in Twitch, and there's links in the YouTube that bring you back here, but also it can bring you to some wonderful people who are also streaming and do a lot of new, fun stuff. And there's some other things there, such as Swerve Bar Podcast, the Go Dice, which are the Bluetooth dice. They have released a chess set, which I didn't realize they actually fully released it. And so go have fun with that. There you go.
And wild crazy idea. Just kind of spitball it out there. Swerve's Bar Podcast, they do a D&D Transformers campaign, right?
Yeah. Transform and roll out.
I can't help but think maybe potential... Because I know we've already discussed this before, because I had a running joke for one particular character and another particular character from Swerve's Bar Podcast.
Oh, God. I will talk to them and see what I can do.
Like, hey, man. I think we can make some comedy gold.
Ah, jeez. Okay, I'll talk to the guys. Yeah, I'll talk to them. Yeah, but they do their Transform one. They talk about Transformers. Yes, there we go.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Okay. Fridays we do stream this stuff at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Next Friday will be Transformers, which I will have some stuff up hopefully by then, and also for you guys, for the players of that, so that you guys can look it over a little bit. And we'll have some fun with that, and we'll be starting combat in that one, so.
Yay!
Fight. Somebody gets to chop a head off. Overload might get his leg. So, you know, we gotta have these fun moments.
Whose leg is he taking?
He
damn sure ain't mine.
No, well, he's got options now. He's got plenty out there now to pick from.
I mean, there were always many legs for him to take. It was just a matter of
which one.
he ain't taking mine.
Or he can make himself some more cups to put up on his shelves in his room. So, Overload's got to have his cups that he makes himself. Actually, how many cups does Overload have in his room? That's a question.
You know that bastard doesn't take fucking water bottles out.
Yeah, it's like,
let's see.
But no,
like
he makes
20 maybe.
trophies.
Yeah,
that's what the cups are.
Yeah, they're like little trophy cups. We'll find out that answer next Friday.
Next time.
All right. You guys want to say bye? No, good. Okay, shut up, all of you.
Excuse the fuck out of you.
Get some sleep.
Take care, everybody. Drink the
cold
waters.
backyard.
Eat the snackies.
And as always, wherever you're at in the world, have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Be safe out there, and we'll see you Friday.
Don't add or subtract to the population.
If you do have
That is a main quest.
yes,
It cannot be ignored.
And if you have any complaints, it's bluevisor@comcast.com.
If I work for Comcast, I'm blowing my brains out.
Trust me, it's a non-existent. If there's an actual site that actually says that, or an email or something, I will laugh my butt off. Please don't harass whoever it actually is. Oh my god. But bye, everyone.